Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is my review of the 2021 animated video game film Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms. This is the second film in the Mortal Kombat Legends direct-to-video animated film series. The first was Scorpion's Revenge, and I saw that one fairly recently. In fact, I have a review of that as well on my channel if you're curious. I didn't mind it for what it was, but I definitely wouldn't say that I loved it. But I definitely liked it a lot more than this. I really wasn't a big fan of this one. There were some things that I didn't mind about it. I did have some fun with Battle of the Realms when it comes to some of the action, but the writing is considerably worse, and it's just another instance of recycling the same plot again, which I just find to be incredibly lazy. But before I get around to sharing more of my thoughts on Battle of the Realms, I want to give a shout out to Harvey for requesting this review. Now, Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms features the same director of Scorpion's Revenge, Ethan Spaulding. And I honestly feel he did a pretty solid job again with his direction for this. He does a good job showcasing the fight choreography, the whole spectacle of Mortal Kombat and its characters, and he definitely isn't the type of director who shies away from the ultra violence or finding a way to really emphasize it, which is definitely something that is very much in the DNA and the spirit of Mortal Kombat. And there are a lot of different sort of angles and camera tricks that he utilizes to really make the animation not only look very fluid when it comes to how it transitions from one scene to the next, but also have its own moments where it's sufficiently eye-catching and definitely has some moments where it pops. So I don't really think the direction is a problem. Once again, it's pretty solid and pretty effective, just like what Ethan did with the previous film in the series. Now, Battle of the Realms is written by Jeremy Adams, and the screenplay has some moments where it works, where there are some character bits and some moments of action that are pretty strong and actually legitimately uh, are rather enjoyable and worthwhile. But there are other elements of the script. In fact, in all honesty, most elements of this script are just way too messy. This is another Mortal Kombat movie where it's more about the cast of characters and world building than it is about a singular story or a singular character and following their journey. Uh, Once again, it's advertised as if it's the Liu Kang movie, and it really isn't. Just like Scorpion's Revenge was not the Scorpion movie. Also, it's another tournament fighting film. I get it. It's Mortal Kombat. Tournament fighting is a big part of it. But are we really going here now with the second movie? We already had a Mortal Kombat tournament. And now you have another one in this that is like of even greater importance. So did that tournament really mean anything? It seems like that tournament was kind of pointless if it didn't really have that much of an impact for even a year. Because this film, I think it takes place at least like a year after the last one. I don't know the exact amount of time, but it kind of seems like that's the case because it follows the events of the previous Mortal Kombat tournament. And because of the fact that Shao Kahn lost and he's a sore loser, he declares war on Earthrealm in retaliation for Shang Tsung's defeat. And he sends a bunch of guys, a bunch of warriors, along with Katana, Kentaro, and Rico and Jade, to attack Earthrealm. They lay siege against the Wu Shi Monastery, but then they are repelled by Kung Lao, Briggs, and Stryker. Katana and the Outworld commanders wind up confronting Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade pretty soon after. Uh, Johnny and Sonya are then joined by Liu Kang and Raiden, and there's admittedly some fun action there with Johnny, Sonya, and Liu Kang and Raiden. And then Shao Kahn and Raiden, they meet up, they're talking with the elders, and Shao Kahn comes up with this idea. Well, actually, I don't think it is Shao Kahn that comes up with the idea. The idea of a tournament to permanently decide Earthrealm's fate is something that Raiden comes up with. Raiden comes up with this concept and he proposes it to the elders, proposes it to Shao Kahn. The elders agree, Shao Kahn agrees, but then Raiden throws in something that kind of throws a wrench in the plans, or throw, maybe a wrench isn't the right word, but he decides to enter the tournament himself. And in order to do that, he can't be a god anymore, so the gods take his powers away. And I liked that. I felt that that was definitely something that was interesting. The idea that Raiden would give up his powers to be able to be a competitor in the tournament, and that it was his idea because he was just sick of this fighting between Shao Kahn and the Earth Realm, and he just wanted to end it right here and now. Although the stakes that are way higher now really make the previous tournament just feel like it was nothing in the long run. Scorpion, he of course didn't die at the end of Scorpion's Revenge. He wakes back. He wakes back up in the Nether Realm. He gets confronted by Shinnok, who is trying to get the key, to raise that old demon god, because he wants to raise the one being and destroy everything because he's crazy. I still don't understand why why Shinnok wants to raise the one being from his exile. But he does. He really wants to do that. So in order to do that, he needs Scorpion and the key that's now a part of him. And in Earthrealm, you have Kuai Lang and Smoke, who are summoned by this Grand Master to participate in trying to track down this final piece of the puzzle in order to awaken the one being. And this is where you get Cyrax and Sector, and then Smoke gets turned into a robot too, a cyborg. My bad, sorry, I forgot. They're cyborgs. So he gets turned into a cyborg as well. So now you get Cyborg Smoke, and you have Cyrax and Sector, and you also have Sub-Zero, the new Sub-Zero, who is the brother of the other Sub-Zero that died in the last movie. Just talking about this, just repeating the plot and the script and just outlining it really isn't even the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, when it comes to just how convoluted and how messy this script is. I'm not even halfway through the story, And I'm like, and then there's this guy, and then there's this guy, and then there's this plot, and then there's this one, and then there's this. It's like, could you just find one or two and stick with it? Like, we don't need like five or six going on at the same time simultaneously. And now we get to the tournament. And once you finally get past all of this other shit, all these other subplots being set up, and you get to the tournament, it's got some fun action, some good fights. Uh, Johnny Cage actually gets defeated by Devora. Uh, Sonya then defeats Devora and Lai Mei. Kang defeats Jade. Stryker defeats Baraka. Jax defeats Kentaro by ripping his arms off. And then you have Scorpion being chased by Cyrax and Sector and Smoke. And Sub-Zero is also going after Scorpion because he wants revenge for his brother's death. And it's just an absolute clusterfuck between all of them. And then eventually, Cyrax, Sector, and Smoke get the Kamidogu. And then, which is the last piece of the puzzle that Shinnok needs to raise the old one, the one being. And Scorpion and Sub-Zero then form a temporary alliance because they don't want the one being to destroy all the realms. And then you get the second half of the tournament where Lao and Stryker are killed by Shao Kahn and Shang Tsung. And it's very violent. It's very gory. Like, it's very quintessential Mortal Kombat. Shang Tsung takes over Stryker and makes him rip his own head off. And Kung Lao just gets his ass handed to him by Shao Kahn. Say what you want, but this script did a good job really building up Shao Kahn and actually making him feel and look like the Shao Kahn that you know from the games, not the Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat Annihilation or Conquest. Like, he is a force to be reckoned with. And Raiden is actually defeated by Katana, but instead of killing Raiden, Katana rebels against Shao Kahn and attacks him. But she underestimates Shao Kahn, thinks that she's killed him, but he just got a scratch, and then he beats the ever living shit out of her. King then defeats Shang Tsung, even though he was honestly at a disadvantage because Shang Tsung did something to one of his arms, but he still wiped the floor with Shang Tsung's old ass. Then Shinnok does revive the one being, and then you have the final stage of the tournament where Raiden actually dies and loses his battle against Shao Kahn. Which pisses Kang off, and then he defeats the Emperor and wins the tournament. Which this was a great moment for Liu Kang. Like, if you're a Liu Kang fan, like, that is a very crowd pleasing and pretty awesome sequence for Liu Kang, when he just gets all fired up and just completely just destroys Shao Kahn. Then the old gods show up because the one being has been resurrected, and they chose Liu Kang along with Raiden as the chosen one because they feel like he's the only person who can handle their powers and their abilities, and he's the only person who can stop the one being. So he absorbs all their powers. Essentially goes Super Saiyan. Like, really, like, he gets all yellow and has flames all over the place. I'm like, okay, I can see where they got that from. And he then has his animality later too, because the one being is like this giant humanoid creature, and so he turns into the dragon and then fights him, and eventually uh, Liu Kang is victorious over the one being. But the one being, and the reason why the one being is like humanoid is because Shinnok is now a part of the one being, which maybe that's why Shinnok wanted to raise the one being so then he could become all powerful, but he would just lose himself in the process because the one being would just take his body over, and then he wouldn't get any of the positives of having all of his power. So seemed like a pretty stupid plan on his part, if that's the case. So the one being is wreaking havoc and trying to merge all the worlds together. So because that's happening, there are some people on Earth Realm who are getting attacked by, outworld demons and stuff like that. And so Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage and Jax, they decide to help them out while Liu Kang is in his Super Saiyan mode and then is also a dragon and he's fighting the one being. And eventually, like I said earlier, Liu Kang, with the help of Scorpion and Sub Zero, finds a way to stop the one being and defeats him. And then he reverts the realms into their original state. Uh, and then Sony and Johnny finally do fully commit to their ship because they were being shipped hard uh, in the first movie of the series. But they finally make it official and share a kiss at the end. And then Lou and Katana hold hands. And then Raiden gets revived as well. So he's no longer dead. So, in all honesty, after all of this, why would there be any more movies? Why would there be any more Mortal Kombat stories to tell? The final tournament happened. Shao Kahn lost. Earthrealm is safe. The one being got resurrected and then got destroyed. And all the realms are now safe. What are the threats now? Shao Kahn is, I don't know if he's dead, but he definitely got his ass handed to him, and he lost the tournament. And he lost a fair amount of his fighters in the tournament, and they wound up getting killed. It's it just felt like, did they do this? Did they just throw everything in this script because they didn't know whether or not they were going to be able to do another animated movie? Like that's what it honestly comes across as if, oh, we got to throw everything in here because we don't know if Warner Brothers is gonna allow us to do another one, and we don't know what the sales are gonna be for the second one, so let's just do everything. And I'm like, hold on, hold your horses, take a chill pill, relax a little bit. I mean, holy shit. So yeah, as you can see, I was not a fan of this script. The script is just a mess. There's too many things happening, too many subplots, too many characters. Like, come on, man. Like, just stick to one or two stories and a handful of characters. Don't try to throw in Sector and Cyrax and Smoke and Sub Zero's brother and Shinnok and the old being and all, or the one being, and then all this other shit. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Striker as well. Like, I don't even know if Striker was even introduced in the last one. If he was, like, I don't really remember him having much of a presence or really doing that much. He had definitely did some here before he got his head ripped off, before he ripped his own head off. But like, you have Stryker who's now just here. And they're like, well, why is Stryker here? Where the hell did Stryker come from? Because I don't remember Stryker being a part of the team in the previous movie. I might have missed something, but I don't remember Stryker being there. So yeah, it's just I am just I'm just like, wow. I was honestly pretty astonished by just how much of a mess this script is. Now, the voice cast, it's still decent. It's still pretty good. You know, Jordan Rodrigues is Liu Kang, and Dave B. Mitchell is Raiden, Sector and Kentaro. Joel McHale is Johnny Cage. Jennifer Carpenter is Sonya Blade. Those two still click, still have some good chemistry. Ike Amadi still does some good work as Briggs, as well as the one being Art Butler as Shang Tsung and Cyrax. Robin Atkin Downs as Shinnok and Rico. Gray DeLeslie as Katana. Matthew Yang King as Kung Lao. Bayardo de Murguia or Murguia as Kuai Lang and Sub Zero. Matthew Mercer as Stryker. I think he was now that I see that name, I think he was in the last one, but he barely had anything. He was barely there at all. So you can't blame me for forgetting about Stryker and Scorpion's Revenge. Emily O'Brien is Jade. Patrick Seitz, once again, doing some good work as Scorpion. Deborah Wilson from Mad TV was actually the voice of Devora. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. And then I also want to mention Fred Tatasciore, who voiced Shao Kahn. He is a very well-known voice actor. He's done a lot of stuff. Like he did a lot of voices for Robot Chicken. He voiced Lardnar in Invader Zim. He was the voice of Qui-Gon Jinn in an episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. So yeah, he's a voice actor that definitely has a pretty significant amount of cartoons and stuff like that, and other animated projects that he's been a part of over the years. And he did a great job voicing Shao Kahn. The editing by Robert Ehrenreich is all right. So is the music by John Jennings Boyd and Eric V. Hatchkin, but it's still missing the Mortal Kombat theme from the 1995 movie. Like, why didn't we not have some rendition of that? Like, I still don't get it. Now you're in the second movie, and I don't hear the Mortal Kombat music in your Mortal Kombat movie. And it's like 80 minutes, so it's not too long, but it suffers from pacing problems because there's just too much shit going on. There's too many subplots. There's too many characters. So it's hard to really get that invested in a single plot line because there's just too much going on at the same time. So yeah, I definitely wasn't really into this one that much. I would say unless you're just a diehard Mortal Kombat fan, I really wouldn't recommend this, to be perfectly honest. If you want to see the Liu Kang Shao Kahn fight, just look that up on YouTube and watch that. You don't have to see all the other nonsense that comes with it. But anyway, that is my thoughts on Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. See ya.